Hi, my name is Adriano Novena III, and I'm with Cherry Lou Aragon. And today we are going to discuss the musculoskeletal system. Now, let's go in our presentation, start the slide. So, what are we going to discuss today? Fan fact first um, there's 200 plus bones in the adult human body, 600 plus muscles in the human body, and 360 plus major joints like knees, hips, and shoulders. So in today's discussion, we're going to discuss 20 musculoskeletal system medical terms that are commonly used that we may encounter. And also, we're going to discuss the aging process of this system. So what happens as we age and grow older? What happens to this system? And lastly, we are going to discuss how to take care of the system. We are going to have a conversation about practical ways or methods we can do right now to take care and maintain our musculoskeletal system as we grow older. So now we're going to the 20 medical terms. Some of these terms I'm sure you are all familiar with, and some of them are new to you. But having these medical terms will help you to know more about what our muscles or musculoskeletal system undergoes. So first, we have the osteoarthritis. It is a condition where the joints wear down, causing pain and stiffness. The next one is osteoporosis, a condition where bones become weak and brittle due to decrease in bone density, making them prone to fractures. So both osteoarthritis and osteoporosis are commonly experienced by old people or aging human body. The third one is rheumatoid arthritis. It is an autoimmune disorder that causes chronic inflammation of the joints, leading to pain and stiffness. Now we're going to discuss this part of the musculoskeletal system. It's called maxilla. It is a bone that forms the upper jaw and the roof of the mouth. So we all know this as the upper jaw, which is commonly used in English term. The next one is scapula. It is a medical term for shoulder blade. It is a flat triangular bone located in the upper back on the or on the dorsal surface of the rib cage. The next one, kyphosis, a forward curvature of the spine, often seen in older adults, which may cause a hunch posture. The next common medical term is called the fracture. So we all know that a broken bone, which becomes more common with age due to weaker bones from conditions like osteoporosis, is called fracture. So many people can undergo fracture. Whatever your age is, as long as the bones got broken, it is considered a fracture. The next one is dislocation. When a bone is forced out of its joint, often causing pain, swelling, and loss of motion. The next one is bone density. This is the amount of mineral content in bones, which decreases with aging, leading to conditions like osteoporosis. Another part of our musculoskeletal system is the patella. It is the medical term for kneecap. It is a triangular bone that sits on the front of the knee. Muscle atrophy. It is the loss of muscle mass and strength due to inactivity or illness, often seen in older adults. Another common medical term or illness that we are familiar with is called the gout. It is a form of arthritis caused by high levels of uric acid in the blood, leading to painful joint inflammation. Other medical terms. What is a cranium? A cranium, the bones that form the head. It is made up of cranial bones that surround and protect the brain, and facial bones that form the eye socket, nose, cheeks, jaw, and other parts of the face. Muscle strain. Muscle strain is an injury to a muscle or tendon due to overstretching or overuse. Next, we have the sternum. The sternum is a flat bone that forms the center front of the chest wall. The sternum is attached to the collarbone, the first seven ribs, or also called the breastbone. What is a femur? A femur is your thigh bone. It's the longest, strongest bone in your body. It's a critical part of your ability to stand and move. Your femur also supports a lot of important muscles, such as tendons, ligaments, and parts of your circulatory system. What is mandible? Mandible is the largest and strongest bone in the face. It forms the lower part of the jaw and parts of the mouth. The mandible is the only movable bone of the skull and is attached to muscles involved in chewing and other mouth movements. It also holds the bottom teeth in place. What is tendinitis? Tendinitis is inflammation of tendon, often due to overuse or aging, causing pain and reduced range of motion. We also have the clavicle, one of a pair of bones at the base of the front of the neck. The clavicles connect the breastbone to the shoulder blades, also called the collarbone. And lastly, we also have this medical term, muscle atrophy, the loss of muscle mass and strength due to inactive or illness, often seen in older adults. Now we turn into Sherry Lou Aragon as she discuss the following, the aging process of musculoskeletal system.
The aging process of the musculoskeletal system. The musculoskeletal system changes with age, leading to a loss of function, strength, and flexibility. These changes can increase the risk of injury and disease. Bone loss, S or the osteopenia or osteoporosis. Bone loss density due to decreased calcium absorption and hormonal changes. Example is the lower estrogen in women. Decreased muscle mass or sarcopenia. Muscle weakens and shrink as the protein synthesis slows, leading to the reduced strength. Next is the joint stiffness or the arthritis. Cartilage wears down, causing joint pain and stiffness, especially in weight-bearing joints like knees and hips. Next is the reduced flexibility. Collagen in tendons and ligaments stiffens, decreasing range of motion. Next is a fracture risk, increased brittleness of bone, and slower healing make fracture more common. And how to take care of it. As we age or engage in daily activities, this system is prone to wear and tear injuries and degenerative changes. Proper care is essential to maintain its strength, flexibility, and function throughout life. Regular exercise. Regular exercise strengthens your bones, muscles, and joints. You can try weight-bearing exercise like walking, jogging, biking, aerobics, hiking, and weight trainer. We will show you some video of the regular exercise that I've done.
Another procedure that we can take care of the musculoskeletal system is practicing good posture. Be mindful of your posture to prevent unnecessary strain on your joints and muscles. It improves balance, support proper muscle function, and promote overall strength and flexibility. Another ways we can take care of our musculoskeletal system is stretching. Stretching improves flexibility and muscle strength. You can try stretching every 20 minutes throughout the day. Sleeping. Sleeping supports the musculoskeletal system by allowing muscles to repair, joints to recover, and tissues to regenerate. Proper rest reduces inflation, relieves strain, and helps maintain healthy posture and alignment. Get enough sleep. So it's important to get enough sleep. Why? Because sleeping helps your muscles and bones heal and grow. Adequate sleep typically 7 to 9 hours per night for an adult, will help you to, will help, and it's crucial for the recovery of your musculoskeletal system. Go ahead.
Next, stay hydrated. Drinking water supports the musculoskeletal system by hydrating muscles, lubricating joints, maintaining cartilage, and protecting spinal disc. It prevents cramps, reduces inflammation, aids recovery, and ensures flexibility, strength, and injury prevention. For optimal musculoskeletal health, adults should aim to drink 2 to 3 liters of water per day, depending on factors like activity level, climate, and body size. Eat well and maintain a healthy weight. Eat balanced diet that includes lean protein, fruits, vegetables, and food rich in calcium and vitamin D. You can try yogurt, cheese, milk, dark green vegetables, eggs, fatty fish, and fortified milk. Being overweight can put extra strain on your joints, so make sure to maintain proper weight for your body size.
And lastly, we should avoid the following. Avoid smoking. Smoking harms the musculoskeletal system by reducing blood flow, weaken bones, delay healing, and increase inflation, leading to joint damage and higher risk of fractures. Another thing that we should avoid is excessive drinking of alcohol. Excessive alcohol harms the musculoskeletal system by weakening bones, reducing muscle recovery, and increase inflation. It interferes with calcium absorption, slow healing, and raises the risk of fractures and muscle loss. That's it. Thank you for listening to our presentation. And now we are going to discuss the next system, which is the respiratory system. And it's going to be presented by our group mates. Thank you very much.
Respiratory system is a series of organs that works together to move oxygen into the body and remove carbon dioxide. It also helps protect the body from germs and harmful particles. The respiratory system also works with the circulatory deliver oxygen and nutrients to the body cells. Here are 20 medical terms of respiratory system. Diagnostic terms: dyspnea, orthopnea, tachypnea, bradypnea, hypoxia. Disease and condition: pneumonia, asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, emphysema, bronchitis. Anatomy and physiology: alveolitis, pleurisy, tracheitis, bronchiolitis, pulmonary embolism, PE. Procedure and treatments: intubation, mechanical ventilation, thoracentesis, pulmonary function test, PFT, oxygen therapy. Here are the aging process of the respiratory system. Structural changes: lung tissue loss, weakening of respiratory muscle, chest wall stiffness, tracheal and bronchial stiffness. Functional changes: decreased lung elasticity, reduced lung volume, impaired gas exchange, decreased cough reflex, increased residual volume. Physiological changes: decreased oxygen levels, increased dead space ventilation, impaired regulation of breathing, decreased exercise tolerance. Immunological changes: weakened immune response, increased inflammation, chronic low, imbalance cytokine productions. Age-related respiratory disease: chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, pneumonia, lung cancer, sleep apnea, pulmonary embolism. Preventive measures: regular exercise, smoking cessation, vaccination, healthy diet, adequate sleep. Treatment and management: pulmonary rehabilitation, oxygen therapy, medication, lung volume reduction surgery, lung transplantations. How to take care of the respiratory system: exercise regularly, avoid eating fast food, stay hydrated, avoid smoking. Additional tips: get enough sleep, 7 to 8 hours per night, manage allergies, identify and avoid triggers. Avoid strong chemical cleaning supplies, paint fumes, stay physically active, regular exercise strengthen lungs. Consult your doctor or healthcare providers before starting any new exercise or dietary regimen, especially if you have pre-existing respiratory conditions. And that's all. Thank you. Again, my name is Marinelli Sunga, and with my partner Rubilin Manas for layout of PowerPoint. And now let's proceed to the next system, which is urinary system, reported by Rogie May Valderrama and James Patrick Season. Thank you.
Thank you, Marinette and Rubilin. Now we're going to talk about the urinary system. So this is also known as the urinary tract or renal system. The function of this system is to filter the blood and create urine as a waste byproduct. The organ of this urinary system, as you can see in the picture, includes the kidney, renal pelvis, ureter, bladder, and the urethra. So this is some of the medical terminology: nephro, renal, nephritis, nephrectomy, nephropathy, renal failure, glomerulus, cystectomy, cystoscopy, cystitis, hematuria, micturition, polyuria, oliguria, anuria, nocturia, enuresis, dysuria. The aging process of the system. So first is the kidney function decline. The kidneys shrink in size and lose functioning nephrons or filtering units, reducing their ability to filter blood and concentrate urine. Glomerular filtration rate decreases, impairing the removal of waste and toxins. Renal blood flow decreases due to reduced cardiac output and vascular changes. Second is the bladder changes. When the bladder capacity decreases, leading to more frequent urination. The bladder wall loses elasticity and strength, reducing its ability to fully empty during urination. Overactivity or the destructure muscle can cause urgency or incontinency. So third is the urethra and sphincter weakness. When weakened urethral sphincter muscles may result in stress incontinence, especially in women, after menopause due to decreased estrogen levels. In men, prostate enlargement, benign prostatic hyperplasia, can obstruct urine flow and cause urinary retention. The fourth one is the increased risk of infection. Reduced immune function and incomplete bladder emptying increases the risk of urinary tract infections or UTI. The last one is the decreased sensation. When aging can reduce the sensation of bladder fullness, delaying the urge to urinate. So these are the changes through common, may vary among individuals, and may be influenced by factors such as genetics, lifestyle, the presence of chronic conditions.
How to take care of the system. Stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water to help kidney filter waste and prevent dehydration, which can lead to urinary issues. Eat a balanced diet. Limit salt and consume a variety of healthy foods such as fruits, vegetables, and whole grains to support kidney functions and prevent urinary problems. Exercise regularly. Maintain a healthy weight and strengthen pelvic floor muscles through Kegel exercise to improve bladder control and prevent incontinence. Practice good hygiene. Wipe front to back to avoid urinary tract infections, and urinate when you feel the need to, preventing urinary retentions. Control blood pressure and diabetes. Keep your blood pressure and blood sugar levels in check to prevent kidney damage and urinary complications. Avoid smoking. Smoking can damage kidney functions and impair bladder health, so quitting is beneficial for overall urinary health. Managing fluid intake. Limit alcohol and caffeine as they can irritate the bladder and act as diuretics, leading to frequent urination and dehydration. Seek medical help for urinary issues. If you experience symptoms like pain, blood in urine, or difficulty urinating, seek medical attention promptly to address any underlying problems. Routine checkups have regular health screenings, including kidney function tests, urinalysis, to catch potential issues early and maintain optimal urinary health. Thank you. The next topic will be the reproductive system, which will be covered by Maria Lenny, Lourdes, and Mary Jane.
Hi everyone, this is Lourdes Padilla and I will be your next presenter today. I will be discussing to you the role of endocrine system, especially in the male human body. Okay, but first, let me just give you an overview about the endocrine system. Endocrine system is a network of glands that produce and release hormones. These hormones help control many important body functions, including the body's ability to change calories into energy that powers the cells and organs. The endocrine system affects how your heart works, how your bone and tissues grow, and even your ability to make a baby. In essence, hormone serves as a messenger, controlling and coordinating activities all throughout the body. On the next slide, you will be able to see the medical terminologies that I have prepared related to the endocrine system. Let's start with the growth hormone, which is in general, it is the metabolic hormone. Gonads are the main reproductive organs. In males, the gonads are the testes. In females, they are the ovaries. Gonadotropic hormones, which regulate the hormonal activity of gonads, which is the ovaries and testes. Adrenocorticotropic hormone, which is the ACTH, regulates the endocrine activity of the cortex portions of the adrenal gland. Antidiuretic hormone, which is the ADH, stimulates water reabsorptions by kidneys. Oxytocin stimulates uterine contractions during childbirth. Calcitonin decreases blood calcium levels by causing calcium to be deposited in the bones. Ghrelin, which is the appetite hormone. Androgen is a male sex hormones. Posterior pituitary is not an endocrine gland in the strict sense because it does not make the peptide hormone it releases, but simply act as storage hormones made by the hypothalamic neurons. Next will be the medical terms for the endocrine hormone disorder. These are some of the disorders that related to endocrine system, which we have acromegaly. It is a disorder that occurs when the body makes too much growth hormones. Benign prostatic hyperplasia, which is the prostate enlargement. Congenital adrenal hyperplasia, which is the adrenal gland disorder. Dihydrous testosterone, which is the potent male hormone. We have the Cushing syndrome, which is the prolonged exposure to cortisol. Next we have the gynecomastia, which is the male breast enlargement. Next will be the hypogonadism, which is the testosterone deficiency. Of course, we have the endocrinologists, which the specialists that handle hormonal issues. Next, let's move on to the next slide by discussing the organs and structures that completes the components of the endocrine system. We have 9, and let's start with the parathyroid gland, pituitary gland, hypothalamus, adrenal gland, ovaries and testes, pancreas, thymus, thyroid gland, and pineal gland. Let's move on to the next by giving you the major functions of the endocrine system. Let's start with the sexual functions and reproduction, metabolism, growth and development, blood pressure, sleeping and waking cycles, heart rate, body temperature, appetite. Let's move on. Let's move on by having to identify what is hormone. Hormones are chemical molecules that are released in the bloodstream by glands, which affects the activity of cells and tissues in the body. Well, here on the other side of the template, we have the other hormones, especially affecting the male endocrine system. We have the insulin, glucagon, cortisol, thyroxine, melatonin, adrenaline, progesterone, and testosterone. Okay, moving on to the next slide. We are here now on this slide, we will be able to understand the effects of a little too much and a little too low of hormone levels inside our body, which, for example, our pancreas, which is our organ that regulates the productions of insulin and glucagon. High insulin level can cause hypoglycemia, Hypoglycemia is a condition where blood sugar levels are low due to too much insulin. Possible causes will be hypoglycemia because of pancreatic tumor, Cushing syndrome, or taking too much insulin for diabetic patient. Person with high insulin level can also experience sweating, shakiness, dizziness, weakness, anxiety, rapid pulse, irritability, headache, fatigue, difficulty of concentrating. On the contrary, if you are experiencing low insulin level, you can cause hyperglycemia, which means low insulin level can lead to a pre-diabetic person or type 2 diabetes. Can also experience extreme thirst, dry mouth, weakness, headache, frequent urination, blurry vision, nausea, confusion, and shortness of breath. Moving on to the next slide. For also pancreas releases glucagon level. If high in glucagon, we can experience hyperglycemia, which means low insulin level can lead to pre-diabetic person or type 2 diabetes. Can also cause glucagonoma, a rare pancreatic tumor that secretes too much glucagon, causing diabetes, weight loss, and a skin rash. By the way, if your glucagon is high, your insulin level will be low. Your low glucagon level, which means your sugar level or your insulin level is too much. That causes hypoglycemia for a low glucagon person. And possible causes of hypoglycemia can be caused by pancreatic tumor, Cushing syndrome, and taking too much of insulin. Moving on to adrenal gland, too much adrenaline can cause increase of heart rate, sweating, anxiety, heightened alertness as part of the body's fight or flight response. Low adrenaline, of course, can cause fatigue, low blood pressure, weakness, difficulty in responding to stressful situations due to insufficient activations of the fight or flight response. Adrenal gland also affects the cortisol level in the body, but having too much of the cortisol level can cause Cushing syndrome, which is a rare disease that causes the body to produce too much cortisol. Possible if you have Cushing syndrome, you may be having a high cortisol level. But for some instances, there are some medications like steroids can also cause high cortisol level. Constant stress can also be a reason to have a high cortisol level. A tumor that produces cortisol can cause high cortisol level. Low cortisol can also be the effect of having Addison disease, a rare disease that causes the body to produce too much cortisol. Stopping steroids, suddenly when we suddenly stop steroids medications can cause low cortisol level. Of course, the thyroid glands that produces high thyroxine. If we have a high thyroxine level in our body, can cause rapid heartbeat, weight loss, nervousness, heat intolerance due to an elevated metabolic rate. Low thyroxine can cause fatigue, weight gain, cold intolerance, dry skin, hair loss due to slowed metabolic rate, decreased energy production. Of course, the testes of a male reproductive organ affects high testosterone level, can cause acne, increased muscle mass, low sperm count, prostate enlargement, can also cause difficulty when urinating. If low testosterone level can cause less body or facial hair, less muscle mass, hot flashes, and brittle bones. Okay, we are now in the pineal gland, which produces the melatonin levels in the body. High melatonin levels occurs when the levels are highest at night, especially between midnight and 3 a.m. Why it occurs? Because the pineal gland releases melatonin in response to darkness. Melatonin helps you fall asleep and helps you sleep better, and also helps regulate the body temperature. For the low melatonin level occurs when, especially during at daytime, the pineal gland decreases the melatonin productions when exposed to light. People with irregularity synchronized melatonin cycles have the circadian rhythm disorder. Okay, we are now on the last two slides of my report, and the last two parts will be the disorders of the endocrine system. And let's start with the adrenal insufficiency, hypothyroidism, diabetes, polycystic ovary syndrome, Cushing syndrome, hypothyroidism, acromegaly, and precocious puberty. Disorders of endocrine system happen if your hormone levels are too high or too low, or if your body doesn't respond to the hormones in the expected way. You may develop some of the diabetes, thyroid disease, growth disorders, sexual dysfunction, and host of other hormones-related disorders. What will be the functions of the endocrine system if we are experiencing these symptoms of hormonal imbalance? Of course, the endocrine feedback the system helps control the balance of hormones in the bloodstream. If your body has too much or too little of a certain hormone, the feedback system signals in the proper gland or glands to correct the problem. However, a hormone imbalance may occur if this feedback system has trouble keeping the right level of hormones in the bloodstream, or if your body doesn't clear them out of the bloodstream properly. So when that happens, especially we need to have that certain tests, or we need to consult to our endocrinologist. Moving on to the next slide, we need to maintain a healthy body or a healthy endocrine system by having a regular checkups to check if we are having the normal range of our hormones. We need to manage our stress. Of course, we live in a rational life or in a daily basis life, so we need to manage our stress by handling stress properly or assessing ourselves in managing stress. We need to have or to eat healthy and do exercise every day, or find time to move and to exercise. Of course, we need that. For men, we need testicular self-exam regularly, at least every 3 months. And of course, for all, we need to have that safe sex practice. And that's all for me. And this is the end of my report. And by the way, again, I'm Lourdes Irene Padilla. The next reporter will...
Hello everyone, I'm Maria Elena Gratuitos, and I'm here today to discuss about the female endocrine system. The female endocrine system is a complex network of glands and hormones that regulate various physiological processes throughout a woman's life. These hormones are crucial for reproductive health, the menstrual cycle, pregnancy, and overall well-being. The key glands involved include hypothalamus. This brain region acts as the control center, producing hormones that regulate the pituitary gland. Pituitary glands, called the master gland, it releases hormones like follicle-stimulating hormone FSH, luteinizing hormone LH, and prolactin, which are the vital for reproductive function. And next is ovaries, the primary female reproductive organs producing eggs and sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone, crucial for the menstrual cycle and pregnancy. Thyroid gland, located in the neck, it produces hormones regulating metabolism and energy level. Adrenal gland, situated atop the kidneys, they produce cortisol, stress response hormone, and small amounts of androgens. And then the last is pancreas. While not exclusively female, its insulin production is essential for blood sugar regulation, impacting reproductive health and pregnancy. Key hormones. Number 1 is estrogen. It's a hormone that helps develop and maintain female sex characteristic and reproductive health. Progesterone is a hormone that helps prepare the body for pregnancy. Testosterone is a hormone that influences muscle mass, bone density, and libido. Prolactin is the hormone that stimulates milk production. Thyroid hormones T3 and T4 regulate metabolism and energy levels, influencing menstrual cycle and fertility. And here's some medical terms related to the female endocrine system. Glands and organ. Number 1 is ovaries, pituitary gland, hypothalamus, thyroid gland, adrenal glands, pancreas, uterus, fallopian tube, cervix, and vagina. And then hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, follicle-stimulating hormone FSH, luteinizing hormone LH, prolactin, thyroid hormone T3 and T4, cortisol, insulin, and androgens. That is the end of my presentation. Again, I'm Marielene Gratuito C. And here our last reporter is Miss Mary Jane Gonzalez. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Mary Jane Gonzalez and I'm going to discuss how to take care of the reproductive system. But first, let me tell you what reproductive system is. So, the reproductive system is a group of organs, glands, and structures in the body responsible for reproduction, allowing for the creation of offspring. It is divided into two main categories based on biological sex: the male reproductive system and the female reproductive system. In female, the reproductive system includes the ovaries, the fallopian tubes, the uterus, the cervix, and the vagina. In male, it includes the prostate, the testes, and the penis. How to take care of the reproductive system? So, for female, wash the vulva with lukewarm water, avoid harsh or scented products, wear breathable 100% cotton underwear and avoid synthetic fabrics, change underwear daily and avoid sharing undergarments, rinse underclothes thoroughly and use minimal detergent, use white soft toilet tissue and change sanitary napkins frequently, maintain vaginal health with a balanced diet and good hygiene, seek medical advice for infections or irregularities, get treated for STDs immediately if needed, quit smoking and alcohol use, use contraception responsibly, maintain a healthy weight, eat a balanced diet, and take a health-boosting supplements. And for the male, wash external organs daily with lukewarm water and mild soap, perform monthly testicular self-examination, undergo circumcision for improved hygiene and reduce infection risk, wear clean underwear daily, avoid borrowing or sharing, rinse underclothes thoroughly and use minimal detergent, eat a balanced diet, exercise regularly and quit smoking, practice good hygiene and screen regularly for STDs, maintain a healthy lifestyle to support reproductive health. Taking care of the reproductive system is essential because it plays a vital role in overall health and well-being. So, before we end our presentation, please watch the following videos to explore different exercises we have prepared. Check which one best suits you to help maintain the wellness of the systems in your body. Thank you.